beat Alonso in a better car.
I know. Oh my God, that was insanity. Like, he's so good.
He's good.
Both of them, sprint
So
race
bold.
and the real race.
Where did he finish in the race?
In the race,
think
P7, I think,
P7.
behind George. Yeah.
But he gave them he gave it a real good run. Like, he was out there scrapping.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Everyone
The
else.
sprint race?
Yeah.
During the sprint race when the two Ferraris were duking it out?
That was chaos. We will have to talk about that.
It was great to watch.
We're gonna have to talk about that, but
there's
for
so much
everyone,
that happened.
yes, for everyone, welcome back to Track Limits Podcast.
Yes.
We're super excited to be here. It's super early for us. I know the race was half across the world.
Yeah.
We had a great time. I know it was a sprint weekend, so we had multiple races technically to watch.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. What really happened?
Oh,
what
we
did you
forgot
guys
to
like?
mention, we're Creator Club Studios.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are. We
Yes.
are at Crate
And
Club.
where's Swish? Oh, it was too late for him, so he slept in again. He's
Yes.
yeah.
What's the word we use to describe him?
soft.
You guys.
Soft.
Stop. Well, talking about soft, what are we
I know.
wearing?
Actually, the coziest, most softest, beautiful, and comfortable, honestly.
It's so cozy.
Is it like
I
athleisure? I don't even know what you'd call it.
feel like I'm
Honestly?
wearing a cloud. Like, it's genuinely, it's so soft.
Yep. Thank you, Travis Matthew, for
Yeah.
this. It's fantastic clothes. I feel like I
hooked
just
up.
came out of bed and I'm like, this is comfortable. I can just shoot in bed, but that's a different story.
It's perfect for us lounging here.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I love that color on you, to be.
Thank
It's
you.
such a nice, like, summery.
Looks
but
like
also-
our TL colors too.
I know,
you
right? I know, it's
Yeah.
very.
Just need to stick a little.
Yeah, they knew. Travis Matthew knew.
Yeah.
Collab,
Maybe
might
coming
happen.
soon.
Yeah, collab collection.
Manifest.
But
Delulu.
for everyone else, make sure to check them out.
Mm-hmm.
They just launched a cloud collection, which is fantastic, and they also have golf clothes that you guys.
Yeah, full golf line as well.
It's fantastic.
So we definitely have to be repping
Michael's
them.
a customer already, so he's already
100%.
there.
It's like purchase.
Yeah, we'll probably have a link
Down
somewhere in the description box, and y'all can hook it up.
Yeah,
We should do the TL golf day out and
in full lounge.
yeah, we can do that. We can do
Yeah.
that.
There gotta be challenges.
Yes.
Oh, that's easy. We can
and like
easily
ones
make
that are
challenges.
going to like where Swish will just we know he'll lose like 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 a
You
cut
guys,
off or something.
enough.
okay, we got-
All
we
right,
gotta
back
stop, we
to
gotta
the
stop.
race, guys. Back to the race weekend. China was going into it. Everyone expected it to be chaos weekend because we
Hadn't
haven't
been there
raced
for
there.
5 years.
Exactly. We haven't been there, but at the same time, a lot of teams were going in with no chassis or no production
Yeah.
levels. There was so much that was going to happen, but then sprint came in, or sprint qualifying came in, and then the rain in Q3.
I know.
That just changed everything.
It was insane. But also, don't forget, for trying to get that circuit back, they had resurfaced the entire area. They had upgraded the track. They had painted the track.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the teams were complaining because you don't know how that surface is going to react with the tires. It was a slick surface to begin with. Add the rain element into it. It was probably the best qualifying you could look
Yeah.
for. It was insane.
No, it was actually insane because of the gap. Every driver was like pulling a second. And then it was just like the more traction that they got, a lot of drivers were probably like, give me one more minute.
Yeah.
Because like, they could have all improved, but Lando was the last one to do it. And it was also chaos because they reinstated
Yeah,
it and
I was
then
going to say it was
brought it back.
first of all it was Lewis
Yeah.
and everybody. I mean, we haven't seen him on top step
He
for
hasn't.
3 years, so he was probably like, "Is it me?"
Yeah. Like, me?
like imposter syndrome. Like I don't belong here. No, I'm sure he does. But that was really nice to see his name on the top, and I was excited and cheering. And then they're like, "Just kidding. We've reinstated Lando's lap," and it was. I mean, I was happy for Lando too. So
Yeah.
I was
Lando's on
complaining,
another
but
level in that rain. Like he was cruising. Like he was
Locked in.
1.2 up.
Yeah, he was locked in.
Yeah.
But we need to talk about why it was reinstated because I'm seeing that. Well, I don't even know if it's in the rule books, but there was a lot of chatter of saying in your last sector going into a warm up lap, if you go off track, your actual lap will get invalidated because technically you gain an advantage.
Yeah.
But where McLaren was fighting was like he actually didn't gain an advantage because he actually went off track, lost time, and then had to come back in. So if it wasn't raining, would he have gotten an advantage? Because with the rain, there was no traction regardless.
Yeah.
So every team was struggling. But with traction, would that have been allowed?
No, because you still lose your speed in the main straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is true that like on the warm up lap,
Yeah.
if you do cut a corner, you're gaining an advantage,
Yeah.
so it invalidates
Yeah.
the lap. But on that it was the corner before the main straight where
Yeah.
the gravel trap is. That was just going to slow him down.
Down
So the
anyways.
fact that he was up and he had that, no. Even Toto come out and said that pretty much no hard feelings to Lando.
Yeah.
Even though it was off the track going into the lap, he was already so far ahead. He's like, he would have had it anyway.
Anyways,
Doesn't matter.
So-
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I was chuffed, but obviously it didn't end up.
That didn't result into
It
anything.
didn't
Yeah.
result. And wait, where did he finish?
He dropped down the
Yeah.
pack because
He
I think it was P6 or P7.
Seven, yeah.
But Lewis had a great start. So in the actual race itself, Lewis
Yeah.
had an amazing
Oh,
start
yeah.
off the line.
Yeah.
We're talking about sprint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sprint.
Just for anyone that's
Yeah.
We're
tuning
still
in.
on the sprint.
Yeah. Caught Lando off guard, but Lando fought back, but then he just got, you could even see from the cockpit cam, he lost a little bit of traction, he corrected, and by the time he corrected, he drifted wide, and in that such a tight corner, drifting that little bit wide for that margin of a second,
Yeah.
he lost like 5 spots.
Yeah.
know.
And even if he tried to come back, he would have hit somebody because
Yeah.
that was back into the racing line
Yeah.
that he would have to go into. And Lewis was like, elbows out. This is my only chance I'm
Yeah.
going to get because he knows that those McLarens are fast
Yeah.
and he was going to lose them if he didn't
Mm-hmm.
take that position. But then it's like, then let's talk about going back into it. The sprint weekend, there's been changes this year where Parc Fermé opens up
Mm-hmm.
right after sprint is done. And then teams are able to make adjustments. And I think the one team that took advantage of that was McLaren.
Yeah.
Because their race pace in the sprint was horrendous. Even if Lando did get that first position, it just looked horrible for them.
He wouldn't have been
Yeah,
expecting
Lando
it.
finished
Exactly.
6th and Oscar Piastri was 7th.
Right behind him. Yeah. So it's like, do we like that? Should it continue or should we just go back to no Parc Fermé or install it and not change it?
I would say, sorry, no, go ahead.
No, I think this is better in that because when you look at the whole weekend with a sprint, you lose the ability the free practice. Like you don't have as much time to practice and gather data and like have the right tune set up, whatever. So I think with the sprint and then having no Parc Fermé rules, I think that allows for teams to adjust and also not completely destroy their main race like strategy and like they can readjust the car. I think it's much more fair, especially if they want the drivers not to play it safe on the sprint.
Yeah.
I think.
Good point.
Yeah, because even if you compare a sprint to last year, it got boring because from watching the sprint race, if team made a mistake in their adjustment, you knew the race was already boring because you knew, oh, well, McLaren are done. Oh, Mercedes are done. Oh, it's Ferrari and Red Bull. Whereas now, Parc Fermé off. Okay, we did the wrong downforce settings. Let's switch it up. So come race day, you're still giddy being like, oh, did they fix it? What have they done differently? Way new dynamic. Loved it.
I feel like I'm turning into an old head because I honestly just hate the whole sprint part of these races anymore. It just, yes, with Parc Fermé being opened and they're able to make changes, we still kind of knew how it was going to end. And that sprint race kind of showed us. Like Ferrari was lacking pace all weekend. McLaren's, like I said, were the outliers and they made changes, but every other team fell in the same place. And the only outlier was Checo because he kept getting stuck behind a driver in front of him and killing his tires. And there was no pace in that Red Bull when they have high degradation.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was honestly given. Like, let's just remove sprint races.
No.
I'm so done with it.
I tend to disagree with that slightly because it's sprint races generally, I think is it half the distance or maybe it's
Yeah.
even less.
Yeah.
But that's a lower fuel load.
Yes.
So now think of it like an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
They have very bad race pace and a high fuel load.
Mm.
Now give Alonso medium tires and a
Yeah.
low fuel mode. He can fight. So, and even then if you add in the weather element, we were quite lucky in this sprint qualifying. We got to have the rain in it. I'm kind of torn, but I did enjoy the sprint because
Yeah.
the Ferraris were battling at the front of the pack. During the race, they weren't so much.
Yeah.
Like look at Lewis yesterday. He was fighting into turn 1 for
Yeah.
P1. Look at today. He got knocked out in Q3. He couldn't
Yeah.
even, or Q1. He couldn't even make it through.
Yeah.
So he was fighting at the back with no pace. So I don't know. There's a different layer.
I
to
think
it.
it's almost like its own. It doesn't follow the same plot as the main races, and I think it gives teams drivers that maybe are at the back, the midfield, that little bit of opportunity to maybe be at the front. Like Oscar won last year in a sprint race, won the whole race, not the whole race, but the whole sprint race.
Yeah.
But like you don't, and I think it's also quick and short and sweet. So like from a fandom, for like from an entertainment perspective, it's an accessible, like it's not a massive commitment. You can sit down, have a quick watch of the sprint race. You see a lot more movement. The margin, it's not like 10-15 second difference between P1, P2, P3. It's a lot closer. It's a lot more overtaking. You see teams like the Ferraris kind of battling it out between themselves. I just think there's a lot more because it's condensed. And as you said, like technically they're on a different, almost like in a different car, because the fuel load is different. Their setups are different. They are going for a shorter stint. So the strategy is different. They don't have to pit. They don't, right?
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, you don't have to pit.
But you could if you want.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, obviously, I mean, you might lose 20 seconds. It depends on what happens. Also, this might, if somebody completely bins the car, this might ruin or kind of change the dynamics of the main race. So there's a lot that you can kind of play around with that doesn't leave the race weekend just vanilla. It's not just you're getting like rocky road. You're getting a little like sprinkle of some flavor and spice in the weekend.
It does suck though that you kind of miss it because it's on a Friday, it's on a Saturday. So that's why I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
It's torn because I do like the
It's
traditional.
on a Saturday typically.
Yeah, the sprint, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
But here's the thing: for us in the West or in the North American Eastern time zone, the last 5 races have not been
On our
nice
side.
to us.
Come 2 weeks time, it's Miami. We're gonna be chilling at 4 p.m.
Oh,
today.
yeah.
It's gonna be cruising.
Wait, is Miami a sprint race too?
No.
No,
I actually don't know when the next sprint race is.
Oh, I think it would be back in Europe. I forgot. It's not Monaco.
What's your
might be Italy. Yeah,
No, Italy or Silverstone?
Italy. Imola. Probably
Imola?
Imola.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like, but like even then, going back to your points there, I still think I actually think I like the one that they were doing previous to this new introduction, where your sprint dictates your race lineup. That was entertaining because everyone actually tried and raced hard in those sprints because it's pretty much your qualifying. So there's a qualifying that sets you for the sprint, and then the sprint gives you the results of how your race will start.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And we also didn't need to add the extra qualifying. Like, I think they were trying so hard, and we talked about this last year too, of saying, oh, put more stuff on so that people that are attending the races have more value for the price that they're paying. But I'm like, honestly, you're giving them so much that they'll be like, I can skip this. Oh, I can do this.
You're getting oversaturated.
Exactly. And I think if that format was pretty good, I know a lot of old heads will come after me for saying that format was good, but I thoroughly enjoyed that one way better than what we're seeing now.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Like
They're
maybe
still changing every freaking weekend. So like,
I think the change of the parc fermé was interesting.
Yeah.
And like, I think this is moving in a direction where like, okay, they're going to, the drivers will not go nuts and, like go crazy and ruin their Sunday race. But I think they're a lot more competitive with the ability to change things after the fact.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully. Let's see. But I do agree. Like if they were fighting for starting position, that might be more interesting.
A lot more elbows out.
Imagine Alonso.
Oh, man. But let's talk about Ferrari this weekend. Off camera, we had a lot of discussion on what took place between both drivers and some mistakes that happened or might not have happened.
I mean,
let's talk about it. Let's put it on air.
Yeah.
I thought Carlos had a horrible weekend.
I think he would agree with, not horrible. I think he would agree with you in that, like, this was not his race, but it was also not the team's race. They just didn't have pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sainz is like, look at the qualifying time. Sainz was amazing. But even his composure when he hit the car going backwards, he had like locked up the brakes, let go of the brakes so he could rotate the car so it didn't hit the rear end. Genius.
Genius.
But then also he just clipped his front wing. He went back in, changed the wing. That would rattle most people.
Yeah.
Boom. Goes
Come
out
back
another
in.
lap. I think he was second fastest.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Sainz is doing phenomenally well. And again, you brought up a great fact earlier. He's made every podium so far in these last 4 races. Leclerc hasn't.
Sorry, of the 5 races, he has only missed 1 up until now. And each one of them, he was on podium.
Yeah.
Like, I know you.
Let's
I
talk
know
about
you don't like
Leclerc's
the way he
stats.
drives aggressive and he sometimes drives through his tires. But like, I nearly prefer that approach to science. Whereas like, if science is coming up in someone, I'm like, oh, we
It's coming.
got 2 laps. He's making a move.
Yeah.
If Leclerc comes up, I'm like, okay, maybe he might play the longer game. But I don't know. I'm still science is kicking ass in my book.
Same.
Nice.
Signs is it really, as I was saying, I think he's driving like it matters in like as in, I mean, we don't know where he's going to be. I don't know if he knows where he's going to be, but he is driving like this. His career is on the line. Not that he won't get a seat.
That's why I'm like, I don't think
but
he's
I
that
just
stressed.
think I don't think it's stress. I think it's like, I'm going to show you what I've got.
Yeah.
Well, like it's that like almost like not a chip on his shoulder, but maybe it is. But I kind of love it. It's like, look what I could do.
Yeah. But one is too much. Like there's incidents where he almost, in the sprint, he almost ended both their races because he was overzealous and thought he had good tires, where Charles has a lot more pace than him. And he almost ended both their races.
Yeah. And I don't agree with that because even watching it, we're like, oh no, oh God. Like, are they going to crash? Are they going to take each other out? But this isn't the first time we are seeing this.
Yeah.
Like, not just between those duo, like with many duos over the years. What I'm trying to say is they're they're competing. They're teammates, but they're not, they're not teammates.
I know. It's just also like thinking the long game. You have 3 hours between that sprint race and your qualifying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was him, and I think the lack of just like, oh, well, I have to beat Charles. Like, he almost ended their whole qualifying experience also by one moment.
I can imagine Fred Vasseur's heart rate. Like, if he's a heart rate monitor, when he sees those two red Ferraris fighting each other, I'd love to see his data chart.
He needs one of these.
Yeah, I'd love to see his stress would be through the roof.
100%.
I don't know. I'm seeing in him what I want to see in Lewis.
Good point.
Like, I am seeing in him like the fight, the hunger. Like, I'm gonna every corner, every straight, every like overtake matters, and he's driving with such focus that I'm not seeing that in I say Lewis because he's one of my favorites as well. I'm sure there are others that we can compare him to, but like the kind of ferocious energy that he's driving is what I would love to see for Lewis to be in that kind of mentality. I know the car is not
either way,
it's not a Ferrari, but still, like,
no, I agree with you, because from the moment that man took that first lap,
Lewis,
it was complaint from left and right.
Oh, on the main race? Yeah.
From the radio, I don't think he said one positive thing. And the funny thing is, he was making positions. It's not like he
not on the soft.
He had a horrible, even in the mediums or like even the hards, he just kept going on the radios saying, guys, we have no pace. How am I losing to the Alpines? Which was honestly a very questionable. I was like, what is happening there? That was a different question. But like, it just felt like, I agree. Like, if it was Carlos or somebody else who doesn't have the same car or a car that can perform, they're still thinking about how they can optimize.
Yes.
Even while they're racing, they're talking to their race strategists and be like, okay, what do we need to do? What plan do we need to be on? I guess we need to hear more of Lewis's radio to see what has been said. But everything that we have seen publicly, it was just all complaints.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's completely different though. For a Ferrari that can fight, then yes, you strategize with your team. I think maybe like, okay, George is getting more out of the car, but like Lewis is no more like, he doesn't have to be play nice to Mercedes anymore. He doesn't have to play nice to Toto anymore. Like, and let's say he's trying to save face, right? He can't even keep up with Ocon on the main straight. Screw this car, complain, be negative. But yeah, it is bad. But in the last year or two, we've definitely seen a different side where it's moaning, it's complaining.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, it is frustrating. You can't be at the height of like the best of the best and like have a fall from grace that's such a long fall. And then keep getting promised or whatever, like next year's going to be better, this car's going to be better, and then he's completely obviously lost faith, which is why he's making the move to Ferrari, but then continue to try to show up. And what I wish he had was like the ability to squeeze as much out of it with the positive Lewis that we know, not being like peace and love, but like more just like even if he started P19, P20 and finished P15, like being proud of that versus and like knowing that there was progress versus, oh, we are shitbox. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then like, I think getting in your head and not making any progress. I think that's what was like, as a fan of his, I'm disappointed to see that kind of display. Now, maybe, as you said, like there might be other things behind the scenes, the radio we haven't heard.
Yeah.
Like maybe they clipped or just showed some of the negative things. Maybe he was like, thanks team.
Yeah, at the end,
Love you guys the whole time. And then
But I will say, when he did go from the soft to the medium, he made some great moves.
Yeah.
And especially there was a sequence of turns, I think it was 9, 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
he just kind of drifted wide,
Yep,
and then
and came
he
back
kind
in.
of packed on the apex of the other drivers, and he did that 3-4 times. So
Yep.
he got a little bit confident in those areas.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he's still pushing that car. It's the way you want to leave this team. Do you want to leave it on giving them a positive outlook,
Yeah.
regardless of who's sitting in that
Yeah.
seat next year, or do you want it to be a toxic exit?
Yeah,
because
like
right
your
now that's
legacy
all we're seeing.
matters.
Exactly.
and
Like
he was such a leader in the team.
yeah, and like look at Alonso. He's that Aston Martin car is not the best.
yeah.
And still he's outperforming that car. But even when you look at his radio messages from his past, he's given some horrible radio messages.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then you see the maturity at that age where he's like, guys, we're still gonna keep pushing. We know we have this car. Let's keep building.
But
I
he's
mean, he
having
wasn't
fun.
that great at Alp. Where was he before?
Yeah, it's Reynolds.
Reynolds, yeah.
And that was honestly that was
Those were dark days
Yes,
for
yeah.
But he's having so much fun.
Yes.
Like he's genuinely
Exactly.
having fun. Also, I think someone posted, I think it was F1 Wow posted it. On the last corner, he's nearly 90 degrees locking the car, and then he
Bonkers.
still caught Lewis in that last lap.
I
But
know.
like he's pushing it. He's like, they went with a different strategy from today, it didn't pay off. But even in those last few dying laps, he's fighting. He's
Yeah.
pushing.
Oh,
He has
yeah.
a very like jovial energy about him that is like for his jovial as in like not childish in like a silly way,
no, he's
but
childish.
in a, no, yeah, and I
Have
think
you seen his TikTok?
it's funny, and I think he knows what he's doing.
Oh,
He's doing
100.
it, for us.
Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, did
You
you
saw
hear
that
his,
video?
the song?
Yeah.
She wrote a song about him or something, like alluding
And
to
he
him.
made a video. Did you see the video?
No.
No.
Oh my
He
God.
played the song and then
Yeah.
he had like an open book going.
Oh, like, oh my God.
Hilarious.
What-
Speaking of the Aston Martins, how do we feel about Stroll and his little safety restart?
Honestly, it was his own teammate that caused it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Alonso caused it.
Well, Alonso, yeah, I mean, it was a chain of reaction.
Yeah.
That
So,
started.
like, I mean, Alonso, you could say that about every
No,
accident.
yeah. That was a joke. But like at the same time, honestly, I don't think Stroll could have done anything. I think it was just too late.
Yeah.
It was his radio message that was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And then Ricardo was like, where do you want me to go?
Yeah. Everyone
Now, Ricardo was
walking
close to Piastri, but that one mistake ruined Ricardo's race, and Piastri didn't get eaten alive, but he lost so much
Yeah, he
rear
took
end.
Ricardo
damage,
was
yeah.
saying that, like, I think he was reacting to Stroll saying it was his fault.
Mm.
And he's like, Stroll was not looking at me. He never once, like, saw where he was going. Like, he was looking the other way and ran into him. I think, Daniel was saying that he probably would have had he seen, like maybe there would have been time to avoid that collision, but I don't know. There's not much space. There was nowhere to
for
go.
anyone.
He couldn't turn. It was
Yeah.
too,
He can't turn.
he was too close. He was too
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. But Daniel, DNF,
Yuki.
Yuki, DNF.
both
I was gonna say,
DNFs.
what are we
Wow.
calling them?
Magnussen,
V
that
carb,
was-
V crap, V.
V-carb.
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 V-carb, yeah.
I was like,
They want us to call them V-carb.
I know, not V
right?
crab. I keep saying V
Crab?
crab. Yeah, I
Wow.
don't know why.
Wow.
My
Yikes.
brain. V carb.
I felt bad for, like, I think Yuki struggled this weekend,
Yeah.
but then seeing Magnussen was fun. Just Stroll and Magnussen on lap 34.
That was so much fun.
I was waiting to put him to DNF. I was like, this is not going to end well.
They were like fighting for like 14th, 15th.
Doesn't matter.
It was
It was
fun.
so
Yeah.
It
good
was
to watch.
exciting,
It was
yeah.
beautiful. I wish there was more of that.
But that's typical Magnussen.
Yeah.
Which you like to see, but I like when you see Sainz racing Leclerc, it's exciting. It's also a little bit risky. When you see Magnussen racing, I'm literally like going, oh, this is
When?
going to end in tears.
It's like when.
It's
not
kind of
even
more
if.
like, it's not if, it's when.
When.
But I feel bad for Yuki because Yuki's done after that.
Either way, I think that car had no pace. They were not going to get points. They were struggling throughout the
But
week.
Daniel out qualified Yuki for
Yeah.
the first time this year.
Both, right? Both the sprint and
Yes, yeah.
the race. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
But
That's because Daniel has more experience in that track as well. Let's not forget
That's
that.
true. He's won.
Yeah,
In
he has.
China.
Yeah.
wait,
'Cause-
has
'cause-
Yuki never raced there? No, he was in the sport in 2019.
2018. 2019, yeah. Wait, he did
I
race.
don't know. I don't know the facts fully, but
I'm like near
but-
fact check.
fact check quick.
Daniel Ricciardo would have raced there a lot longer. He had a
100%.
previous race win there, so let's say he's more
Yeah.
confident on that track. But yeah, no, that was they could have got points. Like Daniel could have got points, but
Yeah.
the big battle now is like if you look at Williams and Haas are doing insanely well right now.
Yeah, their
And
progression.
Hulkenberg is getting a lot more out of the car than Magnussen is.
Yep. Yeah.
So let's because last year the constructor battle was between Williams and Haas. I feel like Haas definitely at the first 5 races they've taken the lead,
Yeah.
and then Williams like Albon. Okay, Albon is the leader of that team, but then Logan like I don't know,
Slipping
man. He
away.
spun in the
Logan finished last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, P7, whatever.
Yeah.
It's, I think 16, 17
yeah.
after the DNFs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he started from the pit, so I know in qualifying he spun. Was it?
Yeah.
Did he damage? Did it? Because I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I don't know what they
They must have replaced something for him to start in the pits.
look, I think
He'll be under a
Williams-
lot of pressure.
Yeah, Williams is going through a tough time. Clearly.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they changed the car very drastically from last year, which looks like they did, because they've lost a lot of components that worked last year,
Like the
especially
high-end
straight line
speed?
speed,
Well,
taking high speed
James
corners.
said that. James
Yeah.
said they basically took apart. I mean, if anyone watched our latest episode with James Vowles,
We'll link it right there.
he was talking about this is the most complicated chassis ever in the history of Williams, like in terms of like the setup, the construction of it, and so which is why they are having development not
And
issues,
the poor
but like
boys wrecked
delays.
2 of them already. Like
Yeah,
They'll get fresh ones in
there's
Miami.
literally like duct tape on the underside of those
Stop.
chassis. Like lads,
I
take
think
it
he
easy.
said by May they should be probably caught up,
Hey.
which is next month.
that's
so,
Miami,
Yeah.
let's go.
So hopefully, I mean, listen, last year McLaren had
Oh yeah.
That's why.
shit
I have
start
no doubt.
for their like this first half of the season, and they really changed things post the summer break. Was it even after the summer? I think it was after
no,
the summer break.
Before Austria was their
Was
first
it?
big upgrade.
Oh, that was when they made
Yeah.
a few. Okay, so I'm just saying there is hope. Hopefully for Haas, for Williams. I mean, right now Haas is 7th, and then it's Williams, Alpine, Sauber. So I'm really hoping that they can. Well, they haven't scored any points yet. So Albon will get it together.
I believe in Logan. You'll get the point. He'll get it.
Albon had
maybe.
a great helmet for this weekend as well. The
That
Panda.
Panda.
Yeah.
He needs to keep that all year. I wouldn't even change it anymore. That was
I feel
so
like
good.
Albon is changing his helmet way more frequently than any other
Yeah.
driver, and he's coming out with some cool
Expressing
designs.
himself.
Yeah,
but
damn.
it's like now it's I don't know who said it. A commentator during the first practice, they're like, I think we're just like losing the spark of having a helmet for the whole season, because every time, every race, every driver will get a new helmet. So
Yeah.
the value of like even collector edition, the value of having one that's like solid the whole season brings up the value than just you just constantly going from one to the other.
And also, like when you're just watching the onboard videos, sometimes I just identify
even-
who's driving by looking at the helmet. So when it's changed, I'm like, oh, who's this? Like obviously, Lewis is with the
Yeah.
The lime green, right?
lime green, but it
Purple,
has
it's
the
purple.
Oh, the
flag-
purple. It's full purple.
No, it's purple and lime.
Oh, lime green. Oh,
But doesn't he have a flag, the rainbow? Am I?
ooh.
No,
Oh, I
that's
think
an
that's
old
on his halo. No, that's an
Hey.
old one. Yeah,
That's an old one.
During COVID times.
Oh,
yes.
now.
But you see his
now
like symbol in the back.
Yeah.
Now he has his gloves are very like lime green or lime yellow. So like
Yeah,
these are like constant identifiers that help me. And then George Russell's like a blue
Yeah. the
helmet.
weird blue. Yeah.
So I'm like, as long as the staples don't
Yeah, but you
change,
wait till next weekend in Miami, and everyone's going to be palm
I
trees, and
know.
like, it's all going to be changed though.
I can't. Yeah. But speaking of Miami, how are we feeling? What are we hoping for? It's not my favorite track. Let me just say that quick.
And you were doing the hot lap, so have fun with that one. But
I just did the hot laps this year. I mean, this.
true, we all had to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what we saw from Max was a clear show this weekend, or this in China. He literally let people know that he's not to be messed with.
Yeah, like it's not
I mean-
like we're no longer talking about who's P1.
No, but it's like, there was moments in like Australia, he DNF'd.
Yeah.
Even the last race, it wasn't like it was a dominant win. And then like he comes into China, they haven't raced in like 5 years, and just showed everybody on the grid that no matter where you place me,
Yeah,
It can
no.
be 4th. It can be 10th. Hell, it can even be P20 at this point.
That was like the Lewis days. During Lewis's
Like,
dominance,
he will find it.
he would come for. You remember what year was it in Brazil?
In Brazil.
Where I think he started like P18th or something and like won the race. Like
I think it's P15.
yeah.
Because of the sprint. They had a sprint weekend.
Oh
at
my
that,
goodness,
yeah.
that was such magic watching, and I love that. I want Max to have,
His moment.
like I want him.
Max is having his moment.
No,
Yeah.
he is. What I'm saying is, I want him to have stories where he's like starting from P15.
Yeah,
and
like
climbing
random
back.
spots.
Like I do want. That's entertaining.
Yeah, but Max genuinely like that's insane. Like he was pulling a second a lap.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't seem to be struggling. It's insane. I don't think we give him enough recognition for what he's doing. But even Red Bull as a whole team, those two, they double stacked. 2 seconds and 2.1. Insane.
That's
the
bonkers.
average pit stop of Red Bull.
Should we give Callum a quick shout out? Him and his team.
And his team.
Yeah, they're kicking ass and taking names. But even Max's last lap, the second last corner, he was like having a drift. Like his last lap, I swear he was trying to get the fastest.
He was.
lap.
He 100% he was.
And then after that, he probably lost it.
Yeah.
Even like I don't know,
Alonso got the
Yeah, he
fastest.
did. Yeah.
like no one can bring the challenge to Max right
No.
now.
Yeah, but who? Okay, so P1 we already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the curse. Like he will win.
From Miami.
What do we
Probably be
expect
Checo
for
again.
Miami? The rest of the grid.
I think McLaren's will struggle. That's not a track that will suit them, and
Did they not say they're bringing upgrades?
They are.
they are.
Yeah.
They are. But again, don't look like they're confident going into the weekend that they will be fighting for the top podiums. I think Ferrari will shine a bit again.
Come on, signs.
Yeah, so we'll probably see another battle.
Let's go Alonso. Let's get.
I think Alonso will be up there somehow, scattered in between. I don't know where McLaren's are going. I mean, Mercedes are going to be. To be honest with you, it's a question. They are horrible in the first sector.
Yeah.
They have too much drag on the back sector, so they're going to be bunched up in that.
Because if you think about Miami, it's a little bit like Jeddah, where you have the real fast S's.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say if you compare Mercedes to McLaren smoked.
Oh yeah.
In like they smoked Mercedes in those S's. They were so fast. So McLaren can do well there. And then you have that really long DRS main straight. So top speed's going to be limited. A little bit like today as well. Whereas Lewis couldn't even keep in with Ocon. So I think you're right. Mercedes will struggle. McLaren, Mercedes. We could get a nice little battle here. Lando's going to be going in with some
McLaren
great
and
confidence.
And
Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Mercedes.
Oh, hell no.
McLaren and Ferrari.
Yeah. McLaren, Ferrari, like, and you know what would be great now as well is like Perez will be in the mix. We'll have Lando in the mix. We'll
Yeah.
probably have the two Ferraris in the mix. Alonso could be there. Max will be in front, but as long as we get that little battle,
Between P2 to P6, like
Yeah.
what's happening.
That's
Yeah.
what makes it spicy. That's
Yeah.
what makes it
Yeah.
it's good. But Max, you can't take credit away from him. He is on a roll and he's in his element. He's not even stressed. Like he's having. I said it earlier. He's having like Alonso's having fun. He's having the best time.
Oh yeah. And all I ask is Checo, please just get in some clean air. Let's just see you drive that car
Yeah,
at its
Checo.
maximum.
No.
Like
But
please.
he
won't
did
happen.
well. He did well. He's
fine.
doing a lot better than he did last
Oh,
year.
100%.
Oh,
He's-
Yeah.
last year was
it's
a
not even
different
question.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love how Lando's like at the end, like he just like acts like he doesn't even belong there. He goes and sits in the wrong chair, grabs the third place hat. He's just happy to be there, but it's so cute. And I want to see him continue to like not know his way around the cool down room.
That boy needs a win.
Yeah.
He needs a win.
I don't think that's this year.
No. Hey. Stella did come out and said by the end
Yeah.
of the second half of the season,
Yeah.
we're fighting for wins.
For P2s.
No. Fighting for wins.
Yeah.
They're that confident. So
Delulu is the solution.
No, but let's not forget.
we'll clip that when they
clip
do
that.
win at the end of the season.
I think he chokes. It's a combination.
Lando?
Yeah. Anytime. Okay. He could have won in Australia. What happened?
Australia. Wait, what happened?
what?
Australia?
No, he could have won. Like anytime. Like okay, last year
You're thinking
Singapore.
of last year when
Last year and
What time?
this year Australia when Max wasn't clearly dominant in those races. Those are your opportunities to extract, and both times Lando did not, and neither did George. But I'm just saying those are the opportunities he's had so far where, well, not just Max, but like Red Bull as a whole, we're struggling. So I don't see a lot of opportunities where Max is going to struggle this year.
engine, like all it takes is one component to fail now.
Yeah.
And we've seen it happen in Australia. Nothing's indestructible.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he needs to drive like Carlos.
Or it's got to be on. We need to end this episode, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say we're like
there was one point where we talked about Max's dominance and how perfect he is, but when that rain came down, that man had no pace.
He was like,
He was spinning left and right.
Yeah.
Even I think Checo in some parts was doing much better and having much traction.
Yeah.
And Max couldn't get anything going. And he was supposed to be like the king of rain. So there's questions of him not
that's what I
being
mean.
perfect.
Like, throw a little bit of spice in there. Let's get a little bit of rain going. What's
all
the
right,
forecast for Miami?
What's the thing that Dubai did? They did like cloud seeding.
Cloud seeding? Oh my God.
Let's do some cloud seeding for the
Let's do it in
Montreal
Miami.
Grand Prix.
No, let's do it in Miami.
Oh, no,
Montreal's
that will
going to
cause,
rain.
like monsoon. That will cause like hurricanes. Like Miami will
Listen,
like.
They just
drought.
need a bit of rain. That place is gonna,
Like,
it's going to be a
do some,
dry race.
Like manipulate the weather, cloud seeding.
We'll have to wait until we go to Belgium for Spa for a nice little rainy day.
That would be chaos.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or I mean, Montreal. There's always a good chance, like the qualifying or whatever.
No, we don't want rain for that.
No, it always happens. Like we always get rained on.
Yeah.
We know it's coming. We don't need cloud seeding for that.
Every time we've been there, we've been saturated. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, we're super excited. Miami is in a few weeks or 2 weeks from now.
Praying
2
for not a hurricane,
Oh,
but
stop
like
it.
no, like a heavy downpour.
Yeah, that's it. Just for the race. Actually, no, for qualifying.
Yeah.
So he can be out of place and then fight. There you go.
Yeah.
We get a challenge
And
for
where
Max.
we going to be from Miami? Where are we watching the race?
Oh, yes.
yeah.
We have a watch party. So if you are in Toronto, we have a
Yes.
watch party at King Score on King?
Yeah,
Yes,
Score
Score
on
on
King.
King.
Score.
Details
Yes.
will follow.
Yes.
Details.
We'll link it up.
There's going to be racing simulators. There's
Yep.
going to be a whole lot going on.
Red Bull truck with
Yeah.
experiences, and we got some cool prizes too. So if you have the fastest time set, you're gonna win some awesome prizes. But anything else, pretty much wrapped up.
I think that's it. I think we're
I
good.
think
Amazing.
that's it. Happy Sunday, Monday, whenever
Yep.
you're listening.
Yep. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and do all the above, and we'll see you on the next one.